morning, one and all. Welcome to Veterans Day 2025, November 11th. I appreciate you all being here in attendance to share this event with us. Let me try that again. Good morning, one and all.
Good morning!
All right, we feel practiced on this. We've done this a couple years over and over, and sometimes we've had repeats, so I think we're good this time around. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you being part of the services and ready to go. I am going to call up the Master of Ceremonies, the man, the one that made the decision to bring us all inside so that we're not freezing outside. Master of Ceremonies, Bill McGrody.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for coming today. I greatly appreciate it, and I greatly appreciate seeing so many of you here on a cold Tuesday. So thank you, or Wednesdays. Thank you so much for being here, whatever day it is. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to start our event today for Veterans Day 2025 with an invocation. We had Father Jonathan scheduled, but he's in Rome advising the Pope, so he couldn't make it. So Father David was very nice and came in at the last minute for us. Father David?
Poor substitute that I am. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Gracious God, grant that we may appreciate and treasure the freedom that is our gift and our heritage, and that we may never forget the great price at which it was purchased. We give you thanks for all those, our comrades, who have laid down their lives in the service of our country. May they rest in peace. As we come together this day, we also pay tribute to all of our active duty and retired members of the armed forces. We are grateful for their dedication and commitment and to the countless selfless acts they perform, which have provided for the freedoms we enjoy here at home. We thank you for our home, for the defenders of justice and peace that you have raised up in our nation, and for those who down through the ages have fought injustice and evil at home and throughout the world, and gave their lives to accomplish and preserve this freedom. We are grateful for life, for liberty, and the freedom you have granted us to pursue happiness. As we begin this day, let it serve as a worthy commemoration and honor to those who sacrificed their lives for these gifts. We invoke your blessings, O God, upon this day, and upon all those who will be honored and remember. May each of us, as individuals and as a nation, continue to strive for lasting peace in our time. Through Christ our Lord.
Father David is from the St. Mary's Church right across the street and works very closely with Father Gasper. Is First Sergeant Gregory Taylor here? Who's coming in his place? Okay. We'd like to... Barton Brown. I had a brain fart a minute. I couldn't remember Barton's last name. Barton Brown is one of our American Legion officers, and he will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance today.
For those that can stand, please stand. For those that have their detail, please bring your color guard to attention and present arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please bring your colors to Eddie's.
I would like to introduce a young man that I'm very proud of. He came to this country, he served this country, he got a college degree, he went back and served this country, and now he's an engineer. He is the American dream. I'd like to introduce Arthur Sagra. Arthur? We're just going to get some class here, okay?
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I just want to introduce our soloist for the national anthem, and that is Christian DeFosse.
See, the problem is he's about 4 feet taller than the rest of us. It's right for her.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Isn't she wonderful? Kirsten, thank you very much. I'm going to be smart for the first time in more than 2 decades. Instead of introducing all the dignitaries and completely screwing up their names, I'm going to introduce select person Bernard Green, because I can pronounce Green, and he is going to introduce the other dignitaries, and then he's going to do the greetings from the town. So with any further ado, our selectman who's done a great service for our community and has been a good friend to me, Bernard Green.
Thank you, Bill. However, I was just going to introduce the select board members.
There you go.
But why don't we ask all elected officials in the audience to raise their hands so we can give an acknowledgement and recognize their service. That is the best I can do.
You still didn't screw up anyone's name.
Not yet, not yet. Okay, so I've been asked to give greetings from the select board, and I know some people are saying, what's he gonna say today? I won't disappoint. Well, here we are again. Same place, although indoors, same year, same month, same day, same hour, celebrating our veterans on Veterans Day 2025. But unlike last year, 2024, which was a beautiful, warm day, today is a little harsh, both in terms of our weather and in terms of our politics. And I apologize, but that's going to be part of the subject of my talk. I'm Bernard Green, the chair of the Brookline Select Board, and I'm here to bring greetings from the Select Board to the veterans that we honor today and their citizen comrades that on this day and every day honor their service and their sacrifices. Thank you for joining us. Also here from the Select Board are all of the Select Board members. John Van Scoyac, Paul Warren, David Perlman, and Michael Rubenstein. Thank you for coming out and joining us today. This morning I want to talk about 2 issues that I think are facing veterans that are very important. First, veterans are under attack. Second, veterans have a duty to young, active duty men and women warriors who are being ordered to do things of questionable legality without the guidance and protection that they rely on in normal times. First, let me explain why I think veterans are under attack. Earlier this year, the director of the Federal Office of Management and Budget said that he wanted to traumatize federal workers in order to eliminate jobs in the federal government. That trauma, let's be clear, is experienced by veterans disproportionately. 24 to 30% of federal civilian employees are veterans. That compares to 4 to 5% of the overall civilian workforce. The destruction of the federal workforce and the slash and burn politics on federally funded social services are attacks on veterans. Do not deny that. And they'll continue even if Congress finds a way to end the government shutdown. So today, when we honor veterans, we have an additional duty to veterans to do whatever we can to help make up for the losses they suffer as a result of the actions of the federal government. Brookline veterans are very lucky, however. Bill McGroarty's Office of Veterans Affairs is a lifeboat for veterans struggling with financial, medical, psychological, loneliness, and other challenges. His office... It happens to all of us. His office provides financial support to veterans with town and state funding under Chapter 115 of the General Laws, and he steps in to help families when a veteran dies, and he performs many other services for veterans, big and small, when they need help. Thank you, Bill McGroarty. Okay, my second concern, my second issue is more complicated and difficult. And if you don't agree with it, let's at least have a conversation. We have to acknowledge that veterans in these dark days have a duty to young, active duty members of the armed forces. Veterans took an oath when they joined the military. They made a sacred promise to defend the Constitution of the United States. Many of us who did not serve also have taken oaths. Police officers, judges, lawyers, elected officials, new citizens, and others have taken an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States. That oath imposes on us a sacred duty to stand up for the Constitution, even when it's difficult. It's difficult now because National Guard and active duty military are being ordered into American cities. That is not normal. The problem is young soldiers in their teens and early 20s in normal times can rely on guardrails provided by senior military and civilian leaders and the guidance of the Judge Advocate General Corps to guide them in terms of what they can and cannot do. Today, that protection has been largely eliminated with the mass firings of JAGs and senior military officers and experienced civilian leaders who were trained in an earlier time when devotion to the Constitution and the rule of law meant something. Those of you who are retired military, I'm sorry, you have an obligation to those young men and women warriors who need your guidance and advice. I'm not saying go and tell them not to obey an order, because that is not acceptable. And that is not something that you should take on. But you do have an obligation to speak out, whether it's on social media, armed forces media like Military Times or Stars and Stripes, with opinion pieces and letters to the editor, to talk about your experiences and the commitment to the Constitution that you learned in the military and how you acted on that commitment in difficult times. Be role models for moral leadership and commitment to the Constitution. Help these young warriors get through a difficult period. Your leadership is needed. Please exercise it. So in conclusion, let me say that we celebrate our veterans. As we celebrate our veterans, please remember that their struggle did not end when they left the military, and commit to doing what you can do to help reduce the pain and suffering that many times, not all the time, but many times they're going through. And remember too, that the oath you took as you joined the military, or you took when you were sworn into a civilian job or became a citizen, or the implicit oath that we all take as American citizens to defend the Constitution does not expire. Thank you.
Selectman Green, thank you. every military member and most elected officials federal elected officials take an oath to defend the Constitution of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. You are absolutely right. It is now my pleasure to introduce our state representative, Tommy Vitolo, who's always been an advocate for our veterans, who comes to me all the time and says, hey, we got this great bill we're gonna do more for veterans. And when I call him and ask for help, because nobody actually listens to me, but they will listen to him, he's always there. Tommy?
Well, the good news is, because the weather's cold, my speech is even shorter than usual. But before I give it, I am going to read. Uh-oh. There it is. I thought it was a blank page. I'm going to read a proclamation from our Governor, Maura Healey. Put your hand right there.
Be useful.
Thank you. Whereas, since the Commonwealth's earliest days, thousands of men and women have served our country in defense of freedom and liberty. And whereas, on November 11th, 1918, after 4 years of conflict, the armistice was signed in the forest of Compiègne by the Allied nations and Germany, ending World War I, the war to end all wars. And whereas since that day, every November, people from around the nation have gathered to honor our veterans. And whereas in November 2025, the world will commemorate the 107th anniversary of the armistice that ended the fighting in World War I at 11 o'clock a.m., November 17th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And whereas there are approximately 300,000 veterans living in Massachusetts, and whereas in recognition of the sacrifices made by those who have served our great nation, Massachusetts remains committed to supporting its veteran community through the HERO Act, honoring, empowering, and recognizing our service members and veterans. And whereas today we are reminded of the great sacrifices and contributions our veterans have made to our country, and whereas we honor and salute those who served our country throughout the generations with honor, patriotism, and courage. And whereas we honor and salute those who served our country throughout the generations with honor, patriotism, and courage. So nice, I'm going to say it twice. Whereas it is appropriate that all Massachusetts residents remember the bravery of those who served their country, so that their dedication and sacrifices serve as a reminder of the cost of our freedom. Now, therefore, Governor Maura T. Healey does hereby proclaim November 11th, 2025 to be Veterans Day, and urges all residents of the Commonwealth to take cognizance of this event and participate fittingly in its observance. As promised, my remarks will be very short. I want to begin by acknowledging two other townwide elected officials who are here, Constable Regina Frawley and Constable Neil Gordon. I don't see any other townwide electeds above and beyond the Select Board members that Select Board Green recognized, so we'll move on. And I want to differ with Bill McGroarty about whom we listen to. We do listen to you, and we hear you, and it's not just me, I promise. But I am delighted to have Bill McGroarty as a partner for all of these years. He has taught me a tremendous amount about veterans, particularly here in Brookline. And I want to talk about that for just a minute. It's just a narrow sliver of a narrow item, but I hope you'll bear with me. It seems to me that our Brookline institutions, both committees within local government, advocacy groups, and other organizations, could do a better job remembering that when we talk about diversity, whether it's protected classes or otherwise, that veterans are to be included in that list. It also seems to me that we as a community would all be better if veterans remember to include those other groups in their actions and activities. For we are all better off when we break down the silos and work across interests, across divisions, to build each other up and support each other everywhere we can. And so I would ask, whether or not you're a veteran or not, whether or not you're one of these organizations or not, you think about how to bring folks in who you might have previously forgotten to consider into what you're up to, into your activity, so that we can all be stronger for doing so. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to once again introduce Arthur Sagawa from the VFW and American Legion. Arthur.
I think this time I'll reach for the mic. Yeah, so it's always Bill talking about other veterans, but I think today is a special day that I wish to really say something about him. So I prepared something and I want to read it so I don't miss anything. On this Veterans Day, we gather to honor the brave men and women who have served our nation, safeguarding the freedoms we hold dear. It is a day for the reflection, gratitude, and remembrance. Today, we are privileged to have with us a great guest speaker who not only embodies the spirit of service, but also carries a remarkable family legacy of military valor. Now long retired, Major McGroarty dedicated over 2 decades of his life to military service. His distinguished career, which included deployments during Desert Storm, took him to nearly every corner of the globe, serving our country and humanity with unwavering commitment. His dedication to his fellow veterans continues to this day in his role as the Director of Veteran Services for the Town of Brookline, Massachusetts, where he works tirelessly to support and advocate for those who have served. While Major McGroarty has built his own legacy of service, it is worth noting that he comes from a family with a deep and storied history of military valor. He is the great-grandson of Stephen Joseph McGroarty, an English immigrant who became a celebrated hero for the American Civil War, rising to the rank of Brevet Brigadier General in the Union Army. This incredible heritage of courage and sacrifice is a profound reminder of the enduring spirit of service that runs through the generations of American families. Please join me in offering a warm welcome to a man who has forged his own path of honor, service, and dedication, Major Bill McGroarty.
Bear with me while I lower this down to a normal level. There we go.
All right.
There we go. Thank you very much. I promise you I did not pay him to say those things. And I thank you for indulging me to allow to speak today. I was going to tell you I'm the guest speaker because our town administrator said we're kind of short of money and I'm cheaper than getting another speaker, but I really didn't do it for that reason. I did that because I really wanted to make the theme of this Veterans Day, thank you. And this is my opportunity to say thank you to this community, which has been absolutely amazing. So, First of all, to our veterans, and many of you are veterans here, we owe a debt of gratitude. Your selflessness, your dedication to our country is truly inspiring. There are young people here. You are the veterans that inspire them. If they're at the collation after this thing, talk to them. If you're a young person, talk to the veterans. The wisdom they have is amazing. Some years ago, we had one of the last of the Tuskegee Airmen there, and we had our RTC, and I said, please sit with him, because this is the only opportunity you're going to have. So we will be forever grateful for our veterans for what they've done for our country. To all you veterans, living and deceased, you've done amazing things and selfless things. You showed great courage and endured great difficulty. Our veterans, we are proud of you. For those veterans who passed, that gave their lives for the case of freedom, there's really no words. Thank you. I'm proud of you. You did amazing things. It's not enough. Every child here that grows up free is free because of them. The best I can do is quote Abraham Lincoln at Gettysburg. I quote, "In a large sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated far beyond our poor power to add or detract." Although I can't add or detract, I would like to take just a moment to list by war how many people we've lost, just to bring this to gravity. World War II, 1939 to 1945, 405,399 Americans gave their life. Thank you for your sacrifice. The U.S. Civil War, 1862 to 1865, 364,511 Union soldiers gave their life for our country. Thank you for your sacrifice. World War I, 1917 to 1918, 116,516 people gave their lives. Thank you for your sacrifice. The Vietnam War, 1960 to 1975, 58,220 of our brothers and sisters gave their lives. Thank you for your sacrifice. The Korean War, 1950 to 1953, 36,574 lost their lives. Thank you for their sacrifice. The Revolutionary War, our founding fathers, 1775 to 1783, 25,000 or so patriots gave their lives so that we could have this country today. The Mexican War, 1846 to 1848, 13,283 Americans lost their lives. Thank you for your sacrifice. The Spanish-American War, 1898, 2,446 Americans lost their lives. Thank you for your sacrifice. The Persian Gulf War, 1990 to 1991, 383 Americans gave their lives. Thank you for your sacrifice. And finally, the war on terrorism, the war we just finished, 2001 to 2021. It's a little hard to get the number, believe it or not, but it's around 7,300 Americans died in that war. Also, there were over 50,000 casualties. But even more concerning than that, and I'm sure this is true of other wars, but we didn't track the data. According to what I could find on the internet, the number of deaths by suicide among veterans and service members of the post-9/11 wars is at least 4 times higher than the combat deaths. There's nothing, and I do mean nothing, more tragic than surviving the war and dying in the peace. Young men and women come home and they face great challenges. Many of them have suffered TBIs, especially in the last war, and they need to get treatment. We need to get them the help they need, and we have. Brookline has made a commitment, and we will continue that commitment to ensure that every veteran returning, whether they return tomorrow or they returned 40 years ago, gets the treatment that they deserve and the help that they need to recover. We honor all our veterans, living and dead, by caring for our comrades. This is why we're honoring our veterans. Every time we take care of a young man or young woman that just got back from the service, we're also honoring the Korean War veteran that's in his 80s that's sitting here today, because we're taking care of their comrade. Never again should any veteran come home to the welcome our Vietnam veterans received. It was disgraceful. Vietnam veterans, your service was exemplary. You have both our respect and our apologies. Let's hear it for our Vietnam veterans. To that end, on behalf of the town of Brookline, I'd like to thank all our veterans. There's a simple term that people use, and sometimes I'm wearing a veteran's hat, and people come up to me in public and they do this, and I'm very verklempt when they do, but I'm also very appreciative. And that is, thank you for your service. To all the veterans in this audience and all the veterans that aren't here with us now, thank you for your service. Can we hear a round for everyone? Again, we're never going to forget your service and your sacrifice. I also want to do a special thanks and recognition to the family and friends of our veterans whose pride and support have made their transition back to the civilian life so much easier. Over the many years I've been here now, many people have come up on this stage and spoke about their family members, spoke pride about how their family members served their country, their fathers, their grandfathers, their sons, their daughters. It's an impressive thing. This includes Selectman Green, who talked about his grandfather, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to indulge me. I would also like to honor my family. I am the son of Staff Sergeant William Thomas McGrody, who served in World War II. I am the father of Captain William Thomas McGrody, who's still on active duty and served in both the Persian Gulf and in Afghanistan. I am also the father of Staff Sergeant Adam McManus, who did multiple tours in Iraq. So I share your pride every time I see a veteran, because those are my children, those are my parents. I also wish to thank the families who for their care they give their loved ones. I can't tell you the number of daughters that take their fathers to the VA, take care of their fathers, spouses that take care of their spouses. It's true love. I don't know when it happened, but sometime around 2020, I stopped being the father and started being the parent. So I understand this personally, because Stiffy does this to me all the time. I would also like to recognize the families who waited for their loved ones when they deployed. I'm not sure what's more difficult, going forward or staying behind. Both have their perils. And I've spent in this last war with many, many families whose loved ones were deployed. And it's very difficult for them, not only just to run the home front, but just not knowing. I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been deployed, and I've waited for my sons to come home, and I do understand that. For those families who waited for a loved one to come home, thank you. Let's have another round of applause. I wish to thank the entire town of Brookline for the support for my office. Without the full support of all you people, without the full support of the people of Brookline and the amazing employees of Brookline, never let get down. We have some of the best people in the world working here, and I get to work with them. I'm very privileged. We couldn't accomplish our mission. For that, I thank you. I also need to thank you. I've been here for over 20 years now, and I'd like to thank the people of Brookline, the city fathers, for the honor and privilege you've given me to serve our veterans and their families. For that, I thank you. This is a personal privilege. I'm going to tell a quick personal note. My father passed away when I was 3 years old. We had no means. The veteran service officer from Salem, I remember as a really young boy, would come to the house about once a month. I didn't know why, but I knew who he was. What I learned when I grew up and later became a veteran service officer is he was going to my house to check on my mother and I as a health and welfare. He also brought emergency financial assistance because we had almost no money coming in. And this was through Mass General Law 115. And because of that veteran service officer in Salem 60 years ago, this man, as a little boy, didn't go to bed with an empty belly. So I can't tell you how much I appreciate what he did. Now the people of Brookline gifted me the opportunity to pay back that kindness and administer the same benefits that prevented me from going hungry. I only hope that I have done that justice to that man. It's been 60 years, and his name was Mr. Manning. I never forgot that, and I was really tiny. Took care of my family. I hope I've done as good a job taking care of your families as he did taking care of mine. And I thank you. I don't even have words to tell you how grateful I am for the opportunity you all have given me to do such a thing. I like to be brief also. In conclusion, our nation does face difficult and challenging times, and this is why we should look to our veterans, because their courage and their sacrifice will bolster us in the trying times ahead. You can also honor, as Selectman Greed said, we didn't actually plan this out, but it worked out nicely. You can also honor those veterans by picking up the mantle and speaking out against tyranny, both foreign and domestic. There's an ancient text that says, and I quote, "When you see an injustice, speak out against it, and give your enemies no peace. For those that would like to trample on our Constitution, on our rights, on the lives of people's dignity, give them no peace." Today we honor our veterans by saying thank you for your service and by defending the ideals and the Constitution they brought forward. Again, to the people of Brookline, I am so honored and I am so grateful for all that you've done for me in the last 21 years. Thank you.
Yeah. So as is customary, normally after when we have a guest speaker come up and give a speech, we have a gift. And in this case, this is no exclusion, so I'm going to take the moment to offer this to Bill. What this plaque says is the true meaning of life is to plant trees under whose shade you do not expect to sit. This was not written by me. This was written by a man by the name of Nelson Henderson. This is the Major William T. McGrody Award. This award will be presented by Bill here going forward any year that Bill decides that he wants to present this to the next person in line. We will be creating more of these awards. So on behalf of the town of Brookline, how about this? Why don't we stop for a second? Why don't we raise our hands if you had a conversation with Bill about something veterans related? Go ahead, raise your hand real quick. If you're under 20 years old, I want to hear you clap twice. Give me a good clap. He's been doing this job a little bit longer than you've been on this planet. And that's you clapping is a thanks enough in itself. What I want to say is we're lucky to have had Bill. Maybe Bill's lucky to have had this job on a flip side as well. But we're so thankful, and I present this on the town the town of Brookline. All right.
Thank you. I didn't know this was coming either.
So I've got one last thing. You know how hard it is to sneak something like this in on Bill, who actually plans out things to the detail?
This is humbling. We have an award called the Hurley Award for Arthur Hurley, and I don't even deserve to walk in his footsteps. Arthur was a Silver Star recipient from the Second World War. He was a town employee. He was iconic in the veterans community. You're not supposed to have a favorite veteran, but... And he was really terrific. So even to be put in the same category him is more than honoring and really not deserved. But thank you so much. Ray, thank you so much. Now that I'm completely reclamped, I'd like to introduce Christian DeFossi again, who's going to sing America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of green, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. sea, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dreams that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Thank you so much. Isn't she awesome? Okay. It's now real pleasure. We honor multiple generations. We honor those that have passed. We honor those that served and are still here. We also have to remember there's a generation coming up, and we have to teach them what freedom is really about, because some of us have forgotten freedom and democracy. And it's important when young men and women come here that they learn that. They learned it from the veterans, they learned it from their family, they learned it from the community. It is absolutely my pleasure to introduce Cub Scout Pack 6, who's going to be giving thank you notes to the veterans. Can I have the Scout leader and the Scouts from Cub Pack 6 up here, please? Oh, thank you so much, guys. Take a look at these wonderful cards. Thank you. Oh, here's another wonderful card. Here's another wonderful card right here. Come on over here, guys.
My brother also made one, even though he's not in Cub Scouts.
Okay. Now, before you go, I want everybody to stand over here so that lady can take a nice picture of you. We'll hold up some cards for you.
1, 2, 3.
And over there so the nice camera can see you, so your family can see you on TV. You're pointing the wrong direction.
And now, can we all say thank you for your service all together? You lead us. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you for your service. Cub Scouts, thank you for your service. This is our future right here. God bless them. Thank you. When we normally do this outside, we do... We do this outside, we do the presentation outside. What I'm going to ask is for Arthur and Barton to come forward to take the wreath, which is hiding over there, to present it, I'll salute, and then to snake their way out of the building to put it on the monument for our fallen veterans. If you have it, you guys can go put that on the monument for me. If you guys have a chance when you walk out, go to that monument. The names of the Brookline veterans who have given their lives from World War I to the present are on that front of that monument. The back side of that monument is a plaque to Albert Edward Scott, who was 15 when he left the devotion school. He joined the Army. He was in France. His unit was holding the flank. The Germans were attacking. He saw Germans moving around to get behind them. He told his captain. His captain said, "I have nobody. We're fully engaged in the front." He said, "Give me the machine gun." They called it a so-so gun at the time. It was a French machine gun. And he said, "I'll hold them." And the captain said, "You had to." We held. The German attack was repelled. And then they went looking for Scotty. They found him in the roots of a tree where he used for a fighting position. There were more than a dozen dead Germans on the other side of that road. The Germans had to bring a sniper in to kill him, to get him out of the way. And by the time they did that, the frontal attack had failed, and Scotty saved thousands of American lives. He received the Distinguished Service Cross, which is the second highest award that a veteran can receive. I don't know why he didn't receive the Congressional Medal of Honor. He came back here. That plaque was built, I believe, in 1919, erected by the Paper Boys Association, because he literally was the beloved paper boy for Brookline. And at the time, I think it was like $2,900, which is an inordinate amount of money in 1919. I've been told that the largest procession that Brookline ever knew was not the boys returning from the Civil War. It was not the troops returning from World War II. It was his funeral procession. So he was an amazing man. I was also told, I don't know if this is an urban legend or not, that his mother literally had a breakdown and was sent out of state for a number of years. And when she returned, she wandered the streets for the rest of her life, asking people if they saw her son. So the price of freedom is very high. Every Veterans Day I go and Memorial Day I go and I thank Karate for what he did. He's one of our heroes. Please come up and take a look at that monument. We're putting the wreath up there right now. I'm going to ask our two commanders, Commander Raymond Cunningham and Commander Elmon Hendrickson, to come up and read those veterans of their posts that have passed away, and then we'll have a moment of silence and taps. I'll start with Commander Cunningham. Would you please come up? Commander Cunningham is the VFW commander.
Sorry. Good afternoon, all. For the VFW post, we're lucky that we have not lost anybody that we don't have to share. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm sorry to say, from last Veterans Day, we have lost two members of our post, Bobby Mack and Joseph McQuain. Sorry for their loss. Thank you.
Both those men were good men. Elmon is the commander of the American Legion. I'm now going to ask everyone that can stand to stand for a moment of silence. Honor guards, bring a unit to order arms, bring them to present arms. And then taps will be played after the moment of silence by Marcus Laffey, who is the grandson of one of our really amazing veterans, Red McPherson. Bear with me for a moment of silence. Marcus. Honor guards, bring your units to order arms and parade rest. Everyone please sit down.
Order. At ease.
As I stated after I was surprisingly given that amazing award, which I'll honor forever, we have an award that we give in honor of Arthur Hurley, an amazing veteran, a hero, and just an amazing person. We give it normally to an individual who's a veteran who served the veterans community in an outstanding way. And we've had some amazing people do that. Today, we're going to give it to the Veterans Posts. And I'm doing that, and it sounds strange, but again, my theme is thank you. The men and women of the VFW and American Legion Posts just do a huge amount of things. I get paid to do this. They do it for free. We owe them a great thanks for what they do. So with that in mind, I'm going to open these up because I didn't want to scratch them. And in no particular order, if I could have Elmont Hendricks in here, please, and Commander Ray Cunningham. Thank you. Would you open it up for me? This is an award to the Department of Veteran Services, the Town of Brookline, in conjunction with the American Legion Post 11, would like to recognize the service to our community of the members of the Brookline Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 864 for their selfless service to our fellow veterans and the greater Brookline community. Given this day, November 2025, Elmon, would you please present that to Commander Cunningham? Don't run away, Ryan. The PFC Arthur J. Hurley Community Award Service, by the way, is a PFG because he kept getting in trouble. And I understand why. The Department of Veteran Services in the Town of Brookline, in conjunction with the Veterans of Foreign Wars 864, would like to recognize the members of the American Legion Post 11 for their selfless service to our fellow veterans and the greater Brookline community, given this day, November 2025. If you would present that to the commander.
I want to thank you, Bill, and the community for this award. I also want to give honor to our Women Auxiliary. We can't forget them who help us take us all the way where we at today. Thank you, the Brookline Women's Auxiliary. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank the auxiliary for not killing Elmont over the years, because I've seen him try. We're now going to give another, again, I apologize for dragging this out. We're going to give a number of thank you awards. If Arthur, if you could open up the rest of the awards and give them to me, I'd appreciate it. We give the Hurley Award to veterans that do outstanding things for our community and our veterans. But there are a lot of people that aren't veterans that also do amazing things for our communities and our veterans. And this is my time to recognize them. And we're going to do something a little unusual. All of them. I'll start with this one. We guys open the rest. Sure. No, let's do this one first. I believe it. Perhaps I'm saving the best for first, but this is an award to our State Representative Tommy Vitolo, who's been here with us and beside us in fighting the hard battles in many cases for us since he was elected. And he's also did things in the community long before that. So, the Veteran Service Award for Outstanding Leadership, Service, and Compassion and Care for our veterans is presented to Representative Tommy Vitolo, always supporting our veterans, our community, and the Brookline Veterans Office with gratitude and respect. Representative.
know that the work isn't done. We have more to do, and we're going to keep doing it, me and you.
We'll do it. You know, I'm doing some things a little different today. We get a tremendous amount of support from our employees, from every one of the departments. But some departments have stood out so much. It doesn't take much to figure out how much support we get from the fire department, because they're right here. Is Chief Sullivan here? Would you come forward, please? The Veteran Service Award is presented for outstanding service and compassion and care for our veterans, presented to the Brookline Fire Department, always supporting our veterans, our communities, and the Veterans Office. With gratitude and respect, November 2025. Chief? I show up in the post office, I'm blaming you, Christine. Again, if you look to my other side, you'll see why this award's being given out. But not just because they stand here with a flag twice a year for me, which I greatly appreciate. It's what they do for veterans, both police and fire. The number of veterans that have talked to me in the last 2 decades and said, I was in a wheelchair and I tipped over and I was in the shower and it was horrible and it was embarrassing, and the fire department took care of me and they gave me dignity. The number of people who were in a crisis and the police department came down and sorted it out for them and thanked me thanking me, which I don't know why, because of what the police did. So this is also another gift to one of our public service agents that do so much for veterans. Can I have the senior representative from the police department here? Somebody with all sorts of gold on their hat. And stars. I like generals. Okay, I want to thank you. The Veteran Service Award for Outstanding and Service and Compassion and Care for our Veterans is presented to the Brookline Police Department. Always supporting our veterans, our community, and the Brookline Veterans Office with gratitude, respect, November 2025. The police and fire you see here because they're standing with the flags and they're very visible. I got here at about 7 this morning and 3 of the DPW workers were cleaning the monument. And I went over and said, I'm buying breakfast, what do you want? And I walked to Dunkin' Donuts and I came back about 10 minutes later and there were 15 DPW workers working here. I thought it was a snowstorm. But if you look out there, it's beautiful. They're unsung heroes because they do all the things we don't see that make it happen. So I see her right here. Can I have our DPW director, or DPW commissioner, Erin Galentine out here, please? Thank you. The Town of Brookline Veteran Service Award is presented for outstanding service, compassion, and caring for our veterans. Presented to the Brookline Department of Public Works, always supporting our veterans, our community, and the Veterans Office with gratitude and respect, November 2025. I've known Erin since I got here, but that's because she started working here when she was 12. But every time I've come to her in any role she's been in, she's always helped me. If you want to see respect for veterans, go to Walnut Hills and see how her crew there treats our veterans when they're being laid to rest. Thank you. Now, you may not believe this, but I'm a little bit of a challenge to handle. And I've been with public health for approximately 21 years now, and they have done amazing things to support and help me. And every time I'm on the way, they're there for me. We may have somewhat different missions, but we are one team and we work together. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate my coworkers, who are really my family, from public health. Is John here? For tolerating me, for taking care of our veterans, I'd like to present the Veteran Service Award for Outstanding Service, Compassion, and Care for our veterans, presented to the Brookline Department of Public Health, always supporting our veterans, our community, Brookline Veterans Office, and with gratitude and respect, November 2025. John? I'm going to ask for the day off tomorrow. I'm not presenting it today, but yesterday at the Senior Center, we did a small ceremony for the veterans that couldn't be here, and we presented to the Council of Aging, Brookline Senior Center, who takes care of so many of our veterans, the Veteran Service Award for great community service. So let's hear for the Brookline Senior Center. Last one, I promise. Again, as I said, I'm a project. And my daughter, Tiffany, who lives next to me, has been taking care of me for a long time. Like I said, around 2020, I became the child and she became the parent. But she also takes care of my veterans. She comes here every year with my grandchildren and put flags on graves. She comes to every one of these events. She supports the stuff I do with veterans. She also had extremely high skills in certain tax areas. We've had veterans have problems before. I can't tell you the number of times I've handed her a cell phone at 9 o'clock at night after she worked all day and said, oh, here it is. I had this shut off too. I don't know what happened. There you go. I happened on one of my weddings, the same thing. I'm not making a joke either, it did. But anyway, my daughter Tiffany and my family have been my backbone and my support. And if I've been effective at all here or the other communities I've worked in, it's because of her. So I'd like to ask Tiffany McManus and my two grandchildren that are here, Gavin and KK, to please come up. Now, some of you might remember back 20 years, well, not quite 20 years ago, but when she was first born, my oldest granddaughter, Quinn, was coming here. We used to call her the Mighty Quinn. The Mighty Quinn's now graduated college and is working today. That's why she couldn't be here. Graduated high school, going to college, and that's why she couldn't be here. But my family's been a great support. Can I have my daughter and my grandchildren up here? The Veteran Service Award for Outstanding Leadership, Service, Compassion, and Caring for our veterans is presented to Tiffany McManus and family for always supporting our veterans, our communities, and the Brookline Veterans Office, primarily me, with gratitude and respect, 2025. Tiffany, I love you, and I'm so proud to be your father. KK, this is for you. I love you too. Yeah, but I'm not going to give you flowers. I'm not going to. Thank you very much to my family. She may have hosed me because she knew I was going to do this, but is Claudia Leone here, my assistant? Claudia? Claudia! Arthur, come here. Oh, there she is. Good. I was about to give it to him to give to you. I can also tell you that the Veterans Office is not, I get all this credit, but it's not me. It's her. She has done an amazing job, and the assistants I had before her, Michelle Bilbado, Michelle wouldn't be here by any chance, would she? No. Michelle and my first assistant, Anne Marie, really were the heart and soul of this organization. And if I've been successful here, it's because of them, not because of me. I'm just stand there and get the credit, but they're the ones who do all the work. Claudia, thank you so much for everything you do for me and for my veterans. have a couple other people I'd like to say thank you to. First of all, one of my best supporters, and her whole family is a tremendous supporter, is Diane Laffey. Diane, would you come up? I did a little presentation at the senior center, and who was there? Diane, her husband Mike, and Marcus played the bugle again. This family's been with me the whole time. Marcus, you can come up too. I'm not going to give you flowers either, dude. Diane, thank you for everything you've done for me for 20 years. Marcus, the same thing. I remember when he was a little boy and I was putting flag pins on his Cub Scout stash. Now he's a grown man. I don't know what the hell happened. Thank you so much. Aaron, I knew you were going to be here. Would you please come up? I think Erin's the only department head that's been here longer than me. And again, her support has been absolutely extraordinary. So as a personal thank you. Thank you very much, Erin. Last, but certainly not least, that I want to recognize is my old boss, Heather Hamilton, who now is in charge of media throughout all of North America. And she took care of us when she was president of the Board of Selectmen. She took care of us when I needed a World War I doughboy to represent our veterans from the First World War, and I had a real uniform that was so skinny nobody could wear it but her. And she came in and was a great sport. And since she's taken over the position in Big, she's been with us 100% of the way. And the number of people who can't make it here for many reasons, who watch this show and then call me up the next 2 or 3 days, tells me how effective her broadcasting is for our community. Heather, can I have you come up here, please? I think I've yammered enough. I'd like to ask Father David from the St. Mary's Church to come up again with our benediction. Father.
Let us pray. Almighty Father, in your hands are the living and the dead. As we have remembered the fallen, we ask that you help us to remember those soldiers who remain with us today. Grant your blessing and protection, O God, to those veterans in our hospitals and all the many veterans who are homeless, isolated, or grieving on this day. Ease their suffering and bring them hope. Help us to honor them not just by our words, but by our actions, and to respond generously to their needs, both of body and of spirit. On this day of sacred memory, we ask for the grace to live lives of integrity and love, accountable to those who have earned us the privilege of doing so. Inspire us by the memory of those who have gone before us to work and to sacrifice personally for the increase of justice and peace in our world. Finally, Lord, grant that we may yet see the day when war will come to an end, that day when peace shall become our common inheritance, and the vision of your love for the world is accomplished. We ask this through Christ our Lord. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Father, thank you so much. St. Mary's Church is always there for our veterans, whether they're Catholic or not. I've telling you the number of people who have gone there and gotten assistance from them. I can't thank you and Father Gasper enough. Fortunately, we're coming to the end of our moment, and we're about to have our last song, and then we'll be completed for the day. We're doing a collation down the street at the Veterans Post. I've got a boatload of food there. Do not make me try to eat the whole thing myself, okay? I lost all that weight. I don't want to gain it back again, so please come and share a community meal with us. You kids, we also got an ice cream truck that should be there. And you don't have to have $1. Just show up and ask for an ice cream. They're going to give it to you. It's great. It's kind of cold, but Commander Cunningham set some games up across the street. Do we have a face painter? We have a face painter. And we have a face painter, thanks to Ray again. So for you kids, there's some things to do. For your adults, come and get a great meal. Kids and adults get a great meal, but come in and come and eat. Normally I say thank yous to everybody, but I think I've already did that. But the last thank you I would like to do is to the community of Brookline once again. Thank you for the privilege of standing here for about 21 years. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce once again Kristen DeFosse, who will sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Kristen, thank you. I don't even know how long she's been doing this because she was here before I got here. So we're talking probably 25 years anyway, so I thank you very much. This concludes our ceremony. Please, please, please come and join us at the Veterans Post for a nice meal afterwards. Thank you very much.